Have you ever felt a painful spot in your neck, shoulder, or back and thought, there it is, that's the knot? Maybe it feels like a small lump, maybe it feels tight, maybe pressing on it creates that familiar, good pain. And maybe someone told you you have a muscle knot that needs to be released. But here's the interesting question. Is there actually a knot in your muscle, or is something else happening? A real knot is what happens when a rope twists around itself. A muscle does not usually tie itself into a little bow inside your shoulder. So when people say muscle knot, they are usually describing a feeling, a tender spot, a tight band, a sensitive area that feels different from the tissue around it. In clinical language, this is often discussed as a trigger point or part of myofascial pain. Myofascial simply means muscle and the connective tissue around it. A trigger point is usually described as a sensitive spot inside a tighter band of muscle. Pressing it may hurt locally, and sometimes it can create pain somewhere else. For example, a sensitive spot around the neck or shoulder might create discomfort that spreads toward the head, upper back, or arm. That is one reason muscle knots feel mysterious. The place you feel pain is not always the only place involved. But we have to be careful here. Trigger points and muscle knots are real experiences. People genuinely feel them. Therapists can often feel areas that seem more tender or tense. But the science is not as simple as saying, there is a little ball of muscle stuck there and we need to crush it. That is not really how the body works. A better way to think about a muscle knot is like a smoke alarm that became too sensitive. The alarm is not imaginary. It is making noise. It is getting your attention. But the problem is not always a massive fire. Sometimes the system is irritated. Maybe the area has been working harder than usual. Maybe you spent hours at a desk. Maybe you slept in a strange position. Maybe you trained harder than normal. Maybe stress has made you clench your jaw, lift your shoulders, or hold tension without noticing. Over time, the area may become more sensitive. Not damaged beyond repair, not broken, just irritated. Another useful comparison is a traffic jam. A muscle knot is not one car blocking the whole road. It is more like a small area where movement, tension, blood flow, nervous system sensitivity, and local irritation all get crowded together. Massage may help by changing the traffic. It may reduce sensitivity. It may improve local comfort. It may help the nervous system calm down. It may make the area feel warmer, softer, and easier to move. But massage does not need to break anything. If someone digs into a painful spot as hard as possible, that is not automatically better treatment. More pressure does not always mean more benefit. Sometimes aggressive pressure can make the area more irritated, especially if the nervous system is already sensitive. Good manual therapy should feel useful, not threatening. It may be uncomfortable at times, but it should not feel like punishment. The goal is not to win a fight against your muscle. The goal is to help the body feel safe enough to move again. This is where many people get stuck. They get a massage. The knot feels better. Then 2 days later, it comes back. So they think, the therapist didn't release it properly. But maybe the real question is different. What keeps asking that area to become sensitive again? If your upper shoulders always feel tight after computer work, the issue might not be that the knot keeps coming back. It might be that your body is spending hours in the same position, using the same muscles, with very little variation. If you are a PC gamer, a designer, a student, or anyone who spends long hours at a desk, your neck and shoulders may be doing low-level work for a long time. Not heavy work, just constant work. Holding your head up, controlling your mouse arm, keeping your eyes focused on the screen, holding tension without noticing it. That can be enough to make certain areas feel overloaded. So what actually helps? First, massage can absolutely be useful. It can give relief. It can reduce sensitivity. It can help you move more comfortably. But it works best when it is part of a plan. Second, movement matters. Not extreme stretching, not a perfect exercise routine. Just regular movement that reminds the body it has options. Move your neck, move your shoulders, stand up, change position, breathe normally, take short breaks before the area becomes angry. Third, look at load. If the same area always gets irritated, ask, what am I doing repeatedly? How long am I staying in one position? Am I recovering well? Am I sleeping enough? Am I under more stress than usual? A muscle knot is often less like a random enemy in your body and more like a message from an area that has been asked to do too much, too often, without enough variation. Now, should you worry about muscle knots? Most of the time, no. They are common, they are usually not dangerous, and they often respond well to simple care. But if pain is severe, spreading, associated with weakness, numbness, fever, unexplained weight loss, trauma, or symptoms that keep getting worse, it is worth getting medical evaluation. For everyday muscle knots, the best approach is usually simple. Calm the area down, move more often, reduce repeated irritation, build tolerance gradually, and do not treat your body like it is broken. So, are muscle knots real? The feeling is real, the tenderness is real, the discomfort is real, but the knot is probably not a literal knot. It is more likely a sensitive, irritated area of muscle and connective tissue that your nervous system is paying attention to. Massage can help, but the best long-term results usually come when relief is combined with movement, recovery, and better habits around the things that keep irritating the area. So the next time you feel that familiar tight spot in your neck or shoulder, do not panic. Do not imagine your muscle tied into a rope. Think of it more like a sensitive alarm. Your job is not to smash the alarm. Your job is to understand why it keeps going off, and then give your body a better reason to calm down. If this helped you understand your body better, subscribe to Constant Balance Recovery for more clear, practical videos about pain, movement, posture, and recovery.